Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mark Connors on American Media News, coming to you live from Burbank Studios in Los Angeles, California. It is an awesome day here, guys. We are also going to, right now, we are going to go out to Denver, Colorado for the show. So, guys, don't you go anywhere. This is Mark Connors on American Media News.
Welcome to the Connors Report with Mark Connors and Jennifer Mills. Brought to you by ConnorsCoffee.com, White Dove Web Design, and Marcus Maximus Gladiator Wine.
Right on set, please. Coming to you live from Burbank Studios and Denver, Colorado today. Now, we have our volunteer reporters out in Denver, Colorado. We have Tanya and Dwayne on the line there. Tanya and Dwayne, are you guys there?
We're here. Bro.
All right. Let me see if I got you. Oh, check it out. I have visuals of you guys, too. That's
good.
That's neat. And you guys are in Denver, Colorado right now. I'm sorry, I moved the wrong one here. I'm trying to zero you guys in so I can see your face.
It would be helpful if I was a little taller. There you go. So how about that?
No, actually, it didn't work. I'll get you guys there. Don't worry. Let me make a bigger picture. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see us. So you guys are in Denver, Colorado. This is this is Tanya and Dwayne, and they are right now today at the Stand By Me, the fight for Finicum, for LaVoy Finicum, correct?
Absolutely, that's it. Yes.
So what's going on? Talk to us. Tell us what is going on there right now.
Well, we have a constitutional freedom rally going on down here. We are standing up for the Finicum family, and we want to let people know that our constitutional rights are being stripped away a little bit at a time by our federal government. So we came down to support the family who is hosting this rally. They want people to know that LaVoy Finicum was indeed murdered. It was not an accidental shooting. It was not that LaVoy was attacking any police officers, because he was not. But we're here to just stand with the family. We're going to have a little time of music here shortly. We'll also be having a little time where we'll be doing some Bible verses and just kind of rally around the family and see what happens.
All right, good, fantastic. Now, who all do we have there that we're going to be talking with today on the show?
Well, we do have Jessica LaVoy's niece. We also have some people from the Sharp family. Victoria Sharp is here. I did speak to her, so we might be able to get her live here in just a little while as well.
Fantastic. Okay, well, why don't you walk around and show us what's going on while I dial your faces in here, because he's much taller than you. And
yes.
So I've got your.
I'm actually going to take his earbud because it's one of mine.
Okay.
So you're going to see me. How about that?
All righty. Now, so now reporting from Denver, Colorado.
Hello, TNT Tanya. There you go.
All right.
So I'm going to turn my camera around so you guys can kind of see what's going on around here. Give me just a second, and I will get this switched. Okay. There we go. It's a little bit of a distance, but we're going to go take a little walk over here. We're going to say hi to some people. So, we have a video going in the background of LaVoy and some of the things that have gone on. The sign says, warning, the content of these videos are graphic, yet they speak the truth. So, this is part of the rally. It's hard to see, but this is going on at the rally. Can't really see it very well, but we're going to talk to the young man in charge of this. How about that?
Actually, you know what, Tanya, if we could, just for a second, go ahead and show that. Go ahead and show that video just for a second, then we'll talk to that gentleman, because we can actually see it and hear it.
All right.
The judiciary is in large measure corrupt too, so far as they are unwilling to register.
Saw that video. Thank you, Tanya. All right, let's talk with that.
You're welcome.
Who is the gentleman we're going to talk with?
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Dave Reeves.
And where are you from, Dave?
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Fort Collins, Colorado. So what brought you down here today?
Well, I don't agree with the killing of any Americans. I don't believe that it's following by our laws. If you think you have the right to gun down an American citizen, what's the point of having judges? What's the point of having courts?
There you go.
We take the law into our own hands, and there is no law. Then it's just, vigilante. And that's That's not just true. That's not the right way of the American
Hey,
people.
Tanya,
I don't agree with
Tanya,
standing
can you hear
against
me?
America. Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Sorry, tell the gentleman I'm sorry. Yeah, turn LaVoy down now. I can hear LaVoy.
Oh, can we turn, you know what, we're going to step away. How about that? We're going to let the video play.
There you go.
And we'll be able to hear you a little better over here. How about that?
There you go.
Now we can hear you and not the video.
I felt
so,
bad.
Mark, do you have any questions for him?
Well, first of all, sir, thank you for being on the Connors Report.
Thank you for being on the Connors Report.
You're welcome.
And you're obviously a true. Go ahead. Tell us why. Tell us why you're there in your beliefs.
I come out here to be a part of everything and do everything that I could to support, LaVoy Fiddicom's family and the protesters that were out in Oregon and, the American people. I've been witness to a lot of the, federal land grabbing myself and, a lot of the atrocities that they've done across America. I don't agree with any of it. And it's a terrible thing to see these feds get away with this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
Now, did you know the Finnecom family before all of this began?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I actually don't know any of these great, wonderful Americans here.
So we're all going to know each other after today.
That's definitely right.
All right.
So
no,
go ahead.
I've worked in the oil field before, and I've seen a lot of the stuff that was going on firsthand. I used to work in the pipeline and worked out in Utah and here in Colorado and in the Nevada open ranges and watched what they had done to the American people and to the wild Mustangs out in the Nevada territories to put in pipelines. So I wasn't really, I didn't agree with it then, and I don't agree with anything that's going on now. I don't believe that the federal government has the right to come and claim any of our lands. These are the lands that belong to the people.
Absolutely.
I constantly see a lot of the groups and stuff that are fighting against the protesters, in Oregon and, all over the place that are talking about how this is about, the ranchers damaging the lands and stuff. But I see them, the federal agents, the federal officers burning down people's farms, burning down those same lands that they say are to protect those animals, that are said to protect that wildlife. Mm-hmm. While I was working for the oil field companies, I'm not at liberty to say who, but while I was working for the oil field companies, I witnessed them, taking these wild Mustangs and harming them out in the Nevada territories and wrangling them up and selling them so that they could make a profit, and in turn taking away what belonged to us, the American people. Those wild Mustangs, they belong to us. The minerals, they belong to us. They don't belong to the federal government. We should not be selling them out to other governments. We should not be selling them in markets to make money for, rich politicians. This is what our people need to sustain our nation. It's not something that, they have the right to take away from us. And I think the wild Mustangs that I witnessed out there, hundreds of thousands of them being displaced and taken out of those open territories, they shouldn't have gone through that. They shouldn't have done any of that, and that was years ago. Mm-hmm. All the way from the Wyoming territories into Oregon, setting those pipelines out there, having uranium drilling, all different kinds of horrible stuff that's going on, and they're forcing these ranchers off of their land to get at these minerals, to get at these oils and gases, and it's not right.
You're right. It's not right. Mark, you have anything to say on that?
I am so honored to have another fellow American get out there and speak his mind and tell him that I'm very thankful for that, for sure. And I'd like to hear just a little bit more of what he thinks we should be doing.
He said he's honored to have you as a fellow American out here today, and speaking your mind, and he wants to know if you have any idea of what you think we should be doing. What do you think we should be doing then?
I think that we should be fighting against the feds, as legally as possible. We should be fighting for legislation to have these feds brought up on charges for violating our rights and violating state rights. Mm-hmm. That if we're all to follow the laws, then they should have to follow them as well.
Absolutely.
I think that the people should be standing up to their senators, standing up to their governors, standing up to their judges, and telling them that this is not okay. That we're not fine with this. And I think this movement that is starting to take place across America is a large part of that.
Absolutely.
I don't think that violence. I don't think that, any kind of mischief is the way to solve any kind of problem. That's not the way of the American people. That's not by our laws.
Absolutely.
So I think that the majority of it is that we need to stand together. We need to unite, and that there shouldn't be anything of our own interests. There shouldn't be anything of individual pursuits within this. This is something that all of us need to come together to be a part of, because it really matters to all of us.
Absolutely.
When they damage our lands, when they take away from our ranches, when they take away from our people, when they displace hundreds of thousands of Mustangs, within just a couple of years, that's something that affects all of us.
It does.
As a young boy growing up, I watched a lot of my cowboy buddies and stuff in Wyoming. They would go out to the open territories and they would gather Mustangs to help renew their herd,
Mm-hmm.
And as you look around America, you don't see wild Mustangs anymore. You don't see, the protection of our mineral rights and our civilian rights and our state rights. This is all being intruded upon by the federal government. So I think that, the people really do need to come together and to fight against all of it.
Absolutely. What do you think about that, Mark?
Excellent. What an excellent interview.
Okay, well, let's take a look at his shirt. They're selling these shirts down here today. They're $20. See that? American Hero. Cowboy LaVoy.
All right, let me
And,
look.
okay, the back. Let's see. Murder by Government, R.I.P. LaVoy.
Wow.
There you go. And these pins, too. You can get these pins. My husband and I bought 20, so we can give them away to other patriots around where we live. So there you go.
That is awesome. Tell him I said thank you so very much.
Yes, Marcus, thank you so very much. I got a Mark and a Mike. This is not an easy thing for me,
A lot of people today.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
so
Okay,
the band is not yet on, but I know that we have somebody here whose name is Sandy that I spoke to a little while ago. I'm going to take a minute and say hi.
Now,
Yeah.
tell Sandy, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Connors Report.
We're going to go to a
with
close.
Mark
We'll be right
Connors and
back.
Jennifer Mills. Brought to you
Going to
by
commercial break.
ConnorsCoffee.com, White Dove Web Design, and Marcus Maximus Gladiator Wine.
That's good. It gets my arm a rest.
Okay, guys, we are live. We are live right now, coming from Denver, Colorado, and Burbank Studios in Los Angeles, California. This is the ConnorsReport.com. We'll be right back.